Hey guys, my name's Chris. I want to show you a few things about TypeScript. Maybe you've heard about TypeScript in the context of Angular 2 or just online somewhere, and you're curious about TypeScript. You want to know what TypeScript is. But if you don't know, TypeScript, similar to like CoffeeScript or some of the other typed JavaScript languages, it's basically someone's taken JavaScript and they've basically added a few features to it. They've added some functionality to it. It's its own language with its own extension, and then you'll have a compiler that will compile your TypeScript into JavaScript. Like they say in their sort of description, is TypeScript is a type superset of JavaScript that compiles to plain JavaScript. And supposedly TypeScript is supposed to scale better. I personally haven't built applications that have problems with that. So I can't verify that claim, but I would say that I personally really enjoy the features of JavaScript. It makes debugging a lot easier. It makes coding a lot faster. It makes me personally more connected with my code and more aware of what my code is doing, and I'm able to catch bugs even before I've even written them down. I'm thinking conceptually more about my code. So I really like TypeScript. I'm using it in a lot of my projects, even outside of Angular 2. I've used it in Angular 1. I've used it just in regular jQuery projects. I've used it in React. I personally love TypeScript. Now, I should say at this point, if you do not know JavaScript, you are watching the wrong video series. You need to take a step back, bro, and calm down and go learn some JavaScript. I personally would recommend Codecademy's JavaScript course. It's about 10 hours long, and you'll get a really introductory thing, really good introduction to JavaScript. It's completely free. All you have to do is make an account. There's a lot of other places where you can learn JavaScript, and I'll post some resources to some really good video channels for JavaScript. If you don't know JavaScript, for instance, Wes Boss is one of the best YouTubers I've seen for JavaScript. Also, Fun Function is a really good YouTube channel for learning JavaScript. And you should build some projects in just regular JavaScript before you even try to think about TypeScript. Now, also, ES 2015. If you're not familiar with ES 2015 or ES 6 or ECMAScript 6 or whatever, ECMAScript 2015, I think I've heard it called before as well. You should go and learn some ES6 or ES 2015. Excuse me. It's going to add a lot of concepts that maybe you were familiar before, but it's going to add some syntax to those concepts, like classes. It'll also introduce you to ES6's module and import and export functions. That's going to make things really interesting, and it's just going to make TypeScript less of a jump. Coming from ES5, which is sort of like the var function thing, sort of place to a sort of const let class sort of idea. And it's just going to be conceptually a little smaller of a leap coming, like I said, from ES 2015 than from ES5. So I would recommend go watch some videos on ES 2015. I'll post some links in the description of this video for learning ES 2015. Like I said, I would recommend it. Now let's talk about tech. So maybe you're using Sublime Text. Probably it's one of the most popular editors out there. Maybe you're using Visual Studio. Maybe you're using Eclipse or WebStorm or PHP Storm or whatever. Whatever you're using, you can use it. You can use whatever you want as long as it's going to open and save a file. You can use Notepad if you want. You can use Notepad++. But if you want a lot of the TypeScript, a lot of the butter that comes with TypeScript, I would highly recommend either using one of these and their compatible plugins for TypeScript. I'll post links, like I said, in the description. Or what I would highly recommend, download Visual Studio Code. It is one of the better programming environments that I've seen for TypeScript. I would highly, even for just JavaScript, I would highly recommend it. It's going to make your life really, really easy. So second thing, like I said, TypeScript's a compiled language, so you need a compiler to compile it from TypeScript to JavaScript. There's a lot of different ways to do this as well. We're going to be using the Node compiler. So I'll show you how to set that up in the next video real fast. But like I said, you should probably have Node, and you definitely need Node installed for your operating system. I don't know. I'm currently running Linux, but you guys can use Windows or OS X, whatever you guys want to use. Go ahead, go download Node. Another thing you might want to look at if you're familiar with Node is looking at Node Version Manager, or NVM. There's a version for Windows, and this one is more for something like OS X or Linux. But you can just install the regular Node. There's a lot of videos and a lot of guides for installing Node. It's pretty simple. Just download the installer, install it, and get ready to go.